Friends, hello. You will see now Thomas, and you think that he dressed up to match the beautiful Christmas tree. I think that is a great idea since he is located in Germany, very close to Munich, Salzburg, and this is a specialist for 20 years in cybercrimes, in IT, in digitalization. So for me, it's a guru. Dear Thomas, hello.
Hello, nice to meet you.
You are very happy now because you don't know what's going to be next. That's why you come very well prepared with, German spirit and German mood. I'm very sorry because today you met a person who is afraid. It is me. I'm a person who is afraid of digitalization. And I think because we spend too much time on the internet, on the computer, on the social media, in fact, we're becoming not rich, but we're becoming poor. We are losing the connections between people. We are losing our friends. We are losing the time we can spend with the family. We are all here. We pretend to be better than we are. And for me, I'm really afraid of these movies made with Will Smith. I'm the robot, the legend, So now when they say, okay, let's use these PR codes, let's everything become completely digital, I'm very, very much afraid. But you said in your interviews, look, the world becoming better. We should celebrate. We should be happy. Tell me, please, am I right or am I wrong?
I think we should see both sides. More than 10 years ago, I wrote a book, which was back then only available in German only. It was called Die Internetfalle, which is translated to The Internet Trap. And it was the very first book that covers social media from a critical perspective. I looked about what was happening back then. You remember, Facebook was really new. Back then, everybody thought social media is going to save the world. And, well, 10 years later, we know better. So, but 10 years ago, it was more or less the next big thing. We now know better. We now know about the dangers. And so, therefore, we should act this way. But the problem is this technology stuff is highly addictive. Highly addictive, like cigarettes or wine or beer.
I think even more. Thomas, you will not believe me, but I have some friends who are spending 10 hours a day on this one. And one of my friends, she's a girl, she celebrated birthday with the computer because she don't have a single real friend. She celebrate and, so yes, me also, I want to cry. So how we can work with this not to be that addictive? What do you think?
You have to take into account that you between 200 and 400 times a day you're looking at this screen. Typically, it's the mobile that is the most addictive thing, and there's no easy fix, but there are options. For example, all mobile operating systems now give you the option that you have some what the iPhone is calling screen time, where you can see how much time I've consumed. And you should, take into account that not every app usage is a good usage. So I would recommend to kill all apps that you do not absolutely need, including Facebook, Instagram, and co. And if you really want to do so, you can always log in via the web interface. It's much more complicated. It's not that easy. It's not that fun, but it's much less addictive. And there are other similar topics I talk in some of my books. For example, setting the screen to black and white or gray. It's much less addictive than it's in the color. And of course, being also prepared to take some time to switch it off. And I also see this highly addictive potential when it comes to interpersonal relations. You just talked about the girl with the holiday, with the sad celebration. I've seen and experienced similar things. I'm not married, so I have some female friends and sometimes a girlfriend, and one of them really canceled our our dates with sending me in WhatsApp. But afterwards kept on stalking me on the internet for more than a year. So I'm not sure what's really going on, and I do not understand this kind of dynamics, but we are all in serious trouble. But the first step would be to be aware of oneself, of one usage, and take, well, if I look at this, I need to make sure it does not overwhelm me.
Thomas, do you think, I'm sorry to talk about personal things, somehow marriage is related to the internet? Maybe you spend too much time on the internet and machines yourself?
well, it's my profession, so probably I have a good excuse to do so. But I think if you would know me better, you would find out that it's not really the case. Since I happen to live near the Alps and near to a beautiful lake, and it's snowing outside, and I can't wait to go skiing. Or outside sports.
I think you already dress up, Thomas. You already dress up for skiing. You can
I just came from outside from a short, not no hike, but a speed walk. So I just came in, and so it's still a little bit freezing. But typically on a typical day, I spend at least 3 hours outside, and it doesn't matter what the weather is like.
This is nice. That is nice. Thomas, but what you said that we should set the screen to white and green, not to use the colors. In a way, this why we're trying to cheat this Facebook, Instagram. We try them not to interrogate with us. Yeah, we try to run away from them.
Yes, it's a way of running away. The best way would be to cancel Facebook. Not sure too many people have done this. I have never been to Facebook. I just used some informal accounts to take a look at what's happening there. But one of these accounts I just used up until recently got canceled by Facebook as a fake account. It was the account of a dog I have. Now my ex-girlfriend has this dog. But he had his own Facebook account, but the dog was not allowed to be a Facebook citizen. So I never looked back and never logged in again. And I had an Instagram, and just recently I closed down my Instagram. You can look it up. It's still up there. It's at Thomas Kohler Official. And the last posting is bye-bye, I'm leaving Instagram. I did not withstand the urge to log in just last week. So I looked up, but nothing happened on my Instagram. Just some random people liked my postings, and some random people I do not even know wants to be friends with me. So I probably don't get it. So thank God I'm almost over Instagram. But I'm having...
Thomas, you are specialist in digital trends. And all gurus in digital trends, they teach us, spend the time on Facebook, Instagram, earn money, put all your friends there, make the posts 3 times a day, showcase beautiful photos. Imagine you are the guru and you're telling me, Olga, switch off your Instagram, switch off your Facebook. You think...
Well, no, I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. So if you look me up and Google me, you will find a very strong presence on LinkedIn. I post almost every day on LinkedIn with valuable content. For example, just today, I did a posting on LinkedIn about a book review. A major German newspaper, Frankfurter Allgemeine Zeitung, just made about my new book, which is called Chefsache Cybersicherheit, so it's a boss job to care about cybersecurity, and they just wrote it in the newspaper, and I did a posting in this, and of course I'm interacting with my clients, and I find my clients and large parts of my network there. I have more than 8,000 connections and really high value connections, but I really left all interpersonal stuff besides WhatsApp and some other messaging platforms. I use this for message back and forth, but I do not use any longer Instagram. I never used Facebook, and I'm probably not a dancer on TikTok. So it's just...
But Thomas, why? You think it's not good for our brains? You think it's killing our time? You think it will make us egoistic? We will look at each other and compare our lives, because this is what I hear from a lot of people. They say, why Thomas living in Alps? Why his life is so good? Why I want to live like Thomas? And I'm saying, you don't know anything about Thomas. Why you envy of him? You even never met him in person. But a lot of people, when they see your lives, okay, this is a handsome man. He has a lot of money. He lives in Alps. He's going for his skiing. They are envious. But they're envious actually of something they even don't know. They don't know. That's why I think it's dangerous.
Well, just in case somebody from German tax authorities is listening, I still do not have any money. So
okay, guys, for tax authorities, Thomas doesn't have any money, especially tax authorities of Germany. You know,
Germany, yes, and we have the toughest ones here nearby. But just to get back to our point, I would recommend not to skip social media. Life happening there, so you will be excluded, at least if you just switch off everything. That's not good, but you have to find a balance. And my recommendation is focus on one platform, besides using messaging. Focus on one platform. For me, it's LinkedIn. For you, it's maybe Instagram. I do not know, and I really do not care and cannot recommend. It's in your own living relationship what matters, and only use instant messaging when it's necessary. And very important, we haven't talked about this, mute all messages, mute all apps. When you install apps, you can allow these apps to send you notifications. So if you click default, yes, every other minute something will make ping, will pop up, will try to grab your attention. You should trim this down as much as possible. So only important notifications, for example, your family, your friends, your wife, your kids should always come through. And everything else should be automatically postponed to that you can just, if you spend, for example, an hour in the later afternoon after work and looking up all the social media stuff, then I would focus on this in this hour and leave the rest as good as possible outside. And then you will see, you will live a much better life.
It is a precious advice from Thomas Kohler. One more question. I met one guy recently and he said, Olga, how many followers do you have? And for me, even the platform is called Hidden Hero, because I believe you don't need to expose all your life. As Chinese people say, happiness like the calmness. You shouldn't cry about this. You shouldn't shout out about that because it's something private. You don't need to show off. And he said, if a person has less than 100,000 followers, I'm not interested to be friends with such a person because, you know, he's not influential. He's not meaningful for the world. And a lot of people, they are catching these followers. Like I have 1 million, I have 2 million, I have 3 million followers. What's going on with these followers? What's going on with people now? Why they need these followers?
Well, it's a status game. Like who has the biggest car? Yeah, this is the same style. And it really depends on the quality of your follower. Nobody talks about the quality. And if you look at this really large accounts, a lot of the followers are not relevant. They come from some, well, India or Vietnam, or typically are bot follower or even bot followers, or no real people behind this. This is worthless. It really depends on what you're trying to achieve. If we are at Instagram selling fashion items, of course you need the other followers than me being on LinkedIn selling high quality business advice to C-level executives. So I do not care about the number, I do care about the right ones. For example, for me, I have several C-level executives of German car makers, for example, or German telcos and something like this. These single contacts sometimes are much more valuable to me. And even me, I just named it, it's like 8,000 plus followers. Even me, I get paid and asked a lot to post some things paid. And take, for example, about 1,800 euros per posting just for my reach. And I even only have 8,000 people. So it must be some kind of quality thing, since other guys or girls just need several 100,000 to earn this much with posting. Of course, I do not focus on posting alone. This is very just a fun part of it. I just stumbled upon this, and just a year ago, some agency called me up and say, well, we have a client here who wants to use this network. Well, if it fits, why not?
Tell me, please, Thomas, what is your opinion about cyber security? I would like to separate this question. Cyber security just for a normal person who is beautiful, smart. How much, to which extent, and of course also cyber security for the company itself.
Okay, just start with the personal issue, and I have to admit, just a few weeks ago, somebody bought some designer handbags with my credit card on the internet. At least tried so. On an online platform named farfetch.com. I didn't knew this platform. You know this?
No. Thomas, it's not me who were trying the bag from your hand.
Okay, that's good news.
It's not me, definitely.
I didn't view the platform. It's an international online shop, a big one with large designer stuff and expensive stuff. And I just got an email from my credit card company early in the morning when I woke up and looked at the screen. And I was immediately awake, since the email said, well, we booked 1,250 euro from your credit card as early as 2 a.m. So what? I called the credit card company and I said, no problem, Mr. Kohler, we already found out and stopped this. But somebody stole the credit card information from my credit cards and several 100,000 other credit cards. So they had to retract all the credit cards and issue new ones. So it's still a problem. And just to bring it to the example, it's even if you work with cybersecurity for 20 years, you always will be under attack. So, like a friend of mine who wrote a book on cybersecurity, and his bank account got hacked and he lost 5,000 euros that were never retrieved. This is always at risk. In the same way, our life moved in the last 10 years or so to the internet, in the same way crime moved to the internet. So if you are aware and do a lot of online shopping, especially in pandemic times, you're doing more than ever before, you have to be very careful. You have to protect your own data. You have to make sure that the online shop you're trying to buy some laptop, iPad or television from is really existing and really sending out the stuff and not some useless crap. So a lot of ways to betray innocent people are there, and there's no easy fix for that. You only can use your brain and look, is this plausible? So in English, there's a saying, if something is too good to be true, it probably is. So, and this is one of the most important non-technical terms I would recommend to follow. So if something is much more cheaper than usual, something is always wrong. And betrayal is the main problem of the internet. Misuse of personal data is the second problem. And stealing of banking information and other personal information is more or less the third problem when it comes to personal data. You can protect yourself, but not perfectly. And so it's no need to be ashamed if you fall victim for some kind of cybercrime. But you should be prepared. You should always install the latest updates on your phone as well as on your computer when it comes to the operating system, as well as your browser, as any other software or app you're using. This is the first thing. The other thing is you should always do a backup. For example, if you use an Apple computer, there's this time machine feature. You just have to plug in a hard drive and click on automatic backup and automatic recovery. It's very easy, and you do not have to think about this. And for mobile phones, there's the cloud backup feature. It doesn't matter if you use something like this Samsung over here or this iPhone, so just to name a few. They all have backup automatic feature. You just have to enable them. You just have to spend a few minutes to make sure everything is all right. Even then, the phone is stalling, the phone is crashing, somebody hacking your phone. It doesn't matter. You just buy a new one, plug it in, and reinstall it. I had to do this in the past, so somebody stole my phone at the airport security.
Well, Thomas, you are, as a specialist in cybercrime, you were attacked many times. Somebody stole the phone. Somebody wanted to buy beautiful bags from your.
But it was really great, since I always wanted the new version, and the battery was even not that good. And say, well, now it's a good reason to buy a new one. And the very next day I bought myself one. So I skipped the cycle, since it's a company-owned phone. Skipped the cycle for a year and was very happy with the new purchase. So
you see, everything is happening is for the good. Do you recommend to post a lot of photos, or maybe some photos now you think it's good, but after 1 year you will regret that you looked like that? And then this photo will be already in the internet. And when you will become the next chancellor of Germany, instead of Angela Merkel, they will say, look, Thomas, look how you looked like. And then you will say, oh my God. Can it be the case?
It can be, and it probably will be. I'm very lucky that during the time I was studying at university, mobile phones weren't an issue. So they just came up after finishing my study, and I worked at the university later on. But then we get these mobile brick phones back then, and this 600 grams edition. But before, there was not an issue. Otherwise, there would be very troublesome photos, or could have been very troublesome photo of me on the internet. There still are some from some parties or so, but I found my way of coping with this. Well, this is my life. This is what I'm doing. If you do not like me, so I do not care. So this is, of course, not everybody can do this, since I do not candidate for some political, issues, or do not work in the politics. I could care less, but I found out, even me, that not everybody likes the photos, and if somebody does not like you, especially when it comes to business interactions, they will try to use this, what they find against you, and I experienced this just recently. A representative of minor European telecommunications company, which I in the past fought, since they were misusing the client's data, and I helped to stop them doing this. So they are still angry at me. It was like 5 years ago, or even more. And one of the executives there, a very tough lady, just called a client from me and said, well, this guy is unpolite, and he's just, listen, a privileged white guy. And he happens to be at the event where I was, and he did this and this and this, which was, of course, not true. But they took everything in the past from me and tried to discredit me by my by my client. Of course, in this case, it fell back on them, so they had to apologize later on. But please accept that this will happen, and this, of course, you should always take a close look what you publish on the internet. For me personally, I feel free to do so. So I'm independent. I'm no boss. My boss is the client, or my client. So I can afford to lose some. So I will find new ones. So I'm relatively easy with it. But I can understand if somebody else works hard on protecting their own image.
As a result of the talk with the Thomas, we understood that you should protect your data. You should think what you are posting. You should also think about what you put on social media. We should try to stay away from the apps, to kill the apps, because these applications can take 8 hours or 6 hours of your day, and that means it will take 50% of your life. And since that doesn't exist before, we as human beings, we never know what it will happen. I found it's very complicated to discuss with the parents who wanted to give to small kids. I have the twins. The present for New Year, which are, you know, this Kalmar game, this new serial soap opera where people are killing people, and these are everywhere on TV, and they start doing toys from this. And I think how people are manipulative, how they easy get by something which is fancy, and it's very dangerous. So we are becoming the followers of social media, Instagram, movies that we even don't understand what it's about. So I think it's the era of people, Thomas, like you, who is specialist in cybercrime, in digitalization, but we also need to protect you. Is very often you can be even, attacked by these things. So thank you so much for sharing your knowledge, giving us advice.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
For our audience, I would like for you to go to Alps to ski. Thank you so much that you find the time to go from fresh air. And for sure, I will use your advices. Danke schön.